What's going on YouTube? Welcome to the channel. This is In Season and I go by Casper. Welcome to the channel. This is the first video being posted on this page. Now if you're new here, I will be covering a variety of different sports on this channel. NFL, NBA, MLB, and just a variety of other sports I'm sure will be talked about on this page. It just depends on what's going on and what is in season at that point in time. Now of course we have the Olympics going on, and with that we did have some track and field events going on today. That is going to be another sport that I cover on this page just because I love track and field, so why not talk about it. So if you're interested in anything sports related, go ahead and subscribe to the page. We're going to be pumping out information and videos as quick as possible. I try to post every day if I can, but if not, I will post as often as possible. Now, like I mentioned, track and field is going on in the Olympics right now. We've had the men's 100-meter final, the women's 100-meter final, both very good races. Of course, Julian Alfred won the women's 100-meter final, and then Noah Lyles by photo finish won the men's 100-meter final. Now today we had the men's 1500-meter final, which was a crazy race, and it ended in an absolutely stunning upset in my opinion. Now going into this 1500-meter race, this was really a focus of Josh Kerr and Jakob Ingebrigtsen, who have been dominating the 1500 the past couple years. They've been going back and forth with each other the past couple years, and it was just leading up to this race in the Olympics. Of course, they both made the final, and so the focus was really on those two individuals to see who would end up winning this race. Now, like I mentioned, there was a crazy upset in this race. Cole Hocker from the US ended up winning, which is like, watching the race, I was just like, this is absolutely crazy watching him win. And just, I'm going to put the race up so y'all can see what it was. But basically with like 150 left, it looked like Cole was trying to go around. And if y'all know Cole Hocker, I've seen him race before, he has a crazy kick at the end of races. And sometimes it doesn't always work out, but his kick is always going to go into effect at the end of the race. And it looks like he tried to go inside of Jakob on initially at the 150 mark, and Jakob cut him off. And then as they're rounding into the final 100, it looked like Jakob kind of scooted over just a little bit, enough for Cole to just zoom right past him. It ended up being Josh Kerr and Cole inching close to the finish line, and Cole Hocker ended up winning it. But just Cole's kick at the end of that was absolutely crazy. But in this race, like I mentioned, Cole finished first in an Olympic record. It was 3:27.65. Josh Kerr got second, and he ran his personal best, which was 3:27.79. Yair Nuguse got third from the U.S., and then Jakob Ingebrigtsen finished fourth. This is the first time that the U.S. has put two men on the 1500-meter podium, which is, like I mentioned, absolutely crazy. I didn't expect Yair to medal, but that was just another shocker. I thought it would be Cole, Josh Kerr, and then Jakob Ingebrigtsen on the podium, but to have two U.S. men on the podium is just absolutely crazy. Now, if you watch this entire race, it was just a very interesting strategy by Jakob and what he decided to do in this race. And if you haven't seen the full thing, I would recommend going back and watching it. But if you've watched the semifinal rounds, Jakob usually sits at the back, and then he'll kind of make his way up to the front just to avoid the crowd and not get bunched up with anything. But for this final, he ran from the front for majority of the entire race. And I think his plan basically was just to tire everybody out, go out at a faster pace than usual, tire out the field, so he didn't have to, or make everybody else work harder to catch up to him as the race goes on. And of course, the goal in that is to be far ahead enough to where people won't be able to catch you. Now, just kind of reading some stuff on what Jakob had to say post-race. He said he went out too fast on the 800, and really the first lap. His first lap was 54, and which is just for 1500 very fast. And then his 800, he ended up running 151, which, like I mentioned, is just a very fast 800. And he said that he probably went out a little bit too fast on the 800. He wanted to slow it down, but he just wasn't able to, which is unfortunate. Like, the race strategy makes sense, especially when you have guys who have a crazy kick like Josh Kerr and Cole Hocker, who can just, like Cole did in this race, zoom past you towards the end. So it makes sense trying to put as much distance between yourself and whoever your competitors are, to where when you're going to that final 100, you have enough distance to where they won't be able to catch you. But like I mentioned, that did not work for Jakob today. But just this race was absolutely crazy. If you watched the 1500 men's final, let me know what you think about the race. How did you think Cole did overall? Like, just watching the whole race, Cole was just in perfect position the whole time. I had to go back and rewatch it, but he just kind of sat behind Jakob and Josh and just followed right behind them and just sat there the entire couple laps. And then that last 150, he just shot up there and just went to go get it. So overall, in my opinion, it was a very, very good race. A crazy upset that even I didn't predict. It was funny yesterday because I was looking at some of the betting, sports betting stuff, and I saw someone mention Cole Hocker, and I was like, Cole may be able to win. And I meant to put some money on Cole, and I absolutely forgot to do that. But just it was a crazy race. But like I mentioned, let me know how y'all felt about the race. Did you expect this to happen, especially because going into this, it was pretty much Josh Kerr versus Jakob Ingebrigtsen, and those two, of course, were going back and forth with each other. But that was all the hype for this 1500 meter final, and then just to have it go completely left and Cole Hocker end up winning the whole thing, just a whole crazy outcome. But it's track and field. That's what you love about track and field. Is always so much going on. So I know Jakob will be back tomorrow for the men's 5,000 final, which he has done very well in the past couple years. So hopefully he can get another gold in that one. But there's some crazy races coming up. Of course, we got Sydney McLaughlin and Femke Bol and the 400 meter hurdles. That's going to be just a crazy race. I already know Femke's going to try to go get Sydney, and I'm sure that race is on world record watch again. You also have the men's 200, Noah going for the double. We had the women's 200 today. Gabby ended up winning. So it's a lot happening in track and field. I'm going to try my best to cover as many races as possible over the next couple of days and over this last week of the Olympics. But once again, let me know your thoughts on the men's 1500 final today and just what your overall thought was watching that race. But once again, if you're interested in sports, go ahead and give the channel a subscribe. It'll be a lot more videos coming, especially as we start getting ready for NFL season, which should be kicking off in a couple weeks, and then just going on from there. But as always, like I mentioned, this is In Season. I go by Casper. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll catch y'all in the next video.